We are not rare. But before you leave, you will perceive the lore will be unlocked. You might be stalked by a Sasquatch or a ghost witch, possibly even a ghost that will boast about knowing the Ohio Grassman or even the Michigan Dogman. Werewolves hunt, poltergeists are up front, but in these backwoods folklore is unlocked.
Welcome back to Folklore Unlocked. I'm Austin, and like always, I'm joined by Ethan.
Yep, hello again, everyone.
And this week, we are taking a look at the very mysterious Count of Saint Germain. And a little about the Count himself before we dig too deep. Supposedly born in either 1691 or 1712, which is odd considering that's about 21-year difference. So that's a very big difference on when he was supposedly born. And he also supposedly died on September 27th, 1784. And his real name and origins are unknown, though he claimed at one point to be the son of Francis, and forgive me for the pronunciation of this, the son of Francis II Rakovsky of Transylvania. And if I mispronounced it, tell me, because I do not know for sure how to pronounce that.
It sounded pretty good.
Sounds right, looks right.
Mm-hmm. And then we have a picture here of what he was supposed to have looked like. And then travels, so he had been in France, England, and Dutch Republic. And of course he did a lot of stuff there, like play music, talk to a lot of like really famous people, and yeah.
And to get into some of his interests, he was big on science, philosophy, alchemy, and the arts, so like music and painting and that sort of fancy stuff that many courts would have been very interested in at the time.
And he claimed to have been over 500 years old, claimed to be immortal, and also to have had multiple reincarnations. And if that tells you anything about the kind of person he was a pretty big liar. I know I saw people say that there were some accounts that said that he was a great pretender and he was an imposter. So,
Which seems very, very likely, in my opinion, that he was just kind of an early con artist.
which from a lot of things I heard, he was great at talking with people. Like, people could not stop talking with him or couldn't keep watching him, and they liked him. It was just he's a big liar.
Very charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not sure if pop culture is the right term for this, but pop culture slash kind of other theories that could explain who or what the Count actually was Theosophical Society and I Am activity. And if you're listening on Spotify, I Am is in quotation marks. I'm not sure what either of these actually are. I couldn't really understand what I read about either of them. So, yeah, that they just claim that he was like a some grand master of things, like spiritual things, and beyond the scope of my comprehension.
Okay, that's interesting, but also have no idea.
Yeah, very much little to no idea what those two are talking about.
Hmm.
And on to our thoughts, I do think the Count as a person existed, but he was just a mysterious person, a very charismatic and talented person that if everything or most things that was attributed to him were true, borderline genius. And I'm sure there are some things that have been embellished over time, but even if a fraction of those were remotely true, smart guy.
Yeah, I forgot to add mine on this slide, but I can go ahead and say off the top of my head. But yeah, I agree with Austin. Like, I think the Count as a person did exist. He might not have, like, we don't know his original name or anything like that, so we don't know what his name was. But he is a mysterious person, like you said, very charismatic. Everyone that talked with him seemed to have loved him. And, I mean, seems to have been alright at music and stuff. But I did see an account that someone said they couldn't help but, like, watch them, but then also want to laugh when he's playing music. So I don't know for sure if he was that great at it, but they couldn't quit watching him. And
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, don't know his name, so just call him Fred.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, he could have been a genius. That's the thing. Like, he knew multiple different languages. He had got in and talked with a ton of people, and I mean, he knew enough about stuff to talk about, like philosophy, sciences, stuff like that. So I mean, he was kind of an interesting guy. Just lied about a lot of stuff. So
Yeah, it's like those Dos Equis commercials. The most interesting man in the world.
that's what I was kind of thinking about. I'm like, he's the most interesting man in the world, but I'm like, we don't really know if any of it was true.
That he was the most interesting man in the world before the most interesting man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's all we've got for this week. Next week, we'll be taking a look at the Princess in the Tower, which is different from the Man in the Iron Mask, which we've previously. So, any last words, Ethan?
Just thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, leave us a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're on Spotify, drop us a follow and a comment. And we'll see you next week.
You might wake up beside Spearfinger with an extended visit from Jack the Ripper. But if you're lucky, it'll be an angel on that range hill of Louisiana. You might meet Mary Laveau or the Road. At Folklore Unlocked, Austin and Ethan concoct their theory of the eerie and unexplained around the world, sometimes even the underworld. The lore is locked behind secrets, the folklore is meant to be unlocked. The Sokaloo is haunting NC as well as Tennessee. There are many giants that might be clients of the Dark Watchers, who might have psychokinesis. And the phantom time hypothesis is like a phoenix, coming back around again and again. The laser strain on your brain, if you've got more than two brain cells in you, believe McCartney's dead because they read into the Mandela effect, which is subject to folklore.